This is the 5-step formula to automate viral threads growth and how I use ChatGPT to create viral posts on threads. I wasted 2,622 hours manually posting on threads before I cracked the code to viral growth. The 5-day explosion, 5 days ago, I discovered a 5-step process and it 6x my growth rate. I started on threads with 17 followers, and since then, I've grown to 12,200 followers. So from this date to February 14th, 2025, average of 20 followers a day. In the last 5 days, from February 14th to February 19th, I've averaged 120. So that is 6 times the rate, or just under, hence 6x my growth. I'm not just plucking that 6x out of thin air. That is what has happened. Here is the proof. So today, 12,800, and 5 days ago, 12,300. So that is the result. Now, I guess you're wondering, like, what's in it for me and how am I going to get it? So I'm going to give you this system to create viral posts, hundreds of followers effortlessly. It means you don't have to guess anymore. It's painful. Posting into the void, you're wondering whether people are going to engage, you're wondering whether the stuff that you're posting is any good. This gives you peace of mind knowing that the templates that you're using, they're proven. They work. You just have to put yourself in them. And when I say put yourself in them, let your personality shine, and the results are guaranteed. How does that sound? All right, here's what we're covering, the 5 steps. We have step 1, which is build your viral blueprint. By the way, this is 100% ChatGPT generated, as you can tell by the text. Step 2, find your proven template. Step 3, generate your viral template. Step 4 is personalize and schedule. And then step 5 is stack and scale. So that is our roadmap for the bulk of our college class. Let's dive into step number 1. This is the 5-step viral growth system. Step 1 is to build your viral blueprint. Most people fail because they're posting blindly and they don't have any sort of strategy. In Saints College, you might have seen some lessons about posting 3 times per day and how it's really important to get your reps up. More reps means more learning, provided that you're trying to learn about what works and what didn't from each post. But beyond that, there's not much of a strategy there. So here is the way I would fix that. And here's what I recommend you do. This will be an interactive class in the sense that it's like a walkthrough, a demonstration, a tutorial. So if you'd like to follow along with me, go ahead. Here's what we do in step 1. We create a Notion page where you save links to viral posts. This is commonly referred to as a swipe file. The swipe file is just a small puzzle piece of this entire picture we're building together. Here we're identifying trends or repeatable trends that get results. Let's take a look at my example swipe file. What I've got here is a bunch of different threads profiles and people that I like to take a look at because they've got great posts. Then I've got different words and phrases that come to mind. These are shower thoughts for me. So I've spent a lot of time on threads and I do think in threads posts. It's just the reality of it. Sometimes I'll think, oh, that's like a good phrase and I might want to use that in a hook. Or I've seen it in a hook and I think that is a phrase we have to use. For instance, one of our teachers inside of Full Circle, our paid community, is Hatham. And Hatham had this post. It speaks for itself. 100,000 views, 2.8K likes, 374 reposts, 159 shares, and it did really well. I would put money on the fact that if this post did not start with these 3 words, we're all traumatized, it would have gotten half the views and engagement at best. As soon as I saw it, I knew that these 3 words would have to go to my swipe file and be used later. So that's an example use case. This is what my swipe file looks like. We've got one-liners, long forms, losticles. I'll go through what the other ones are first, but if losticles don't make sense, they don't need to for the purposes of like this class. A one-liner is something short and pithy. It packs a punch And it isn't necessarily just one line only. It might be 1 to 3 or so, but it's maximum value in a really short amount of space. So for instance, if we take a look at some posts that I've put up today, here's one. Don't create content, make art. That would be an example of a one-liner. It just packs a punch. It communicates something very clearly. Then we have listicles, which are here. And listicles could be, I guess you could count this as a listicle. It has bullet points, which is a bit of a classic listicle. This one here, 19 months on Threads taught me 7 actionable tips to write better. And notice how it's got that kind of cascading structure. So it goes from shortest point to the next shortest all the way to longest. And I incorporate a little plug for Saints College at the bottom. So that's what a listicle is. A losticle, it's literally a blend of a long form post and a listicle. And I've called that a losticle. So it doesn't matter. It's not in the scope of this lesson. But if you are curious, one example of a losticle could be this one. So it's a much shorter than what a normal long form post would be like. It's got a short hook. It's got pretty short little posts in here. That's basically it. But the point being is that this is what my swipe file looks like. All you need to do, the simplest minimal viable product here, the MVP of a swipe file, is a Notion page that's blank. All you do is when you're scrolling on Threads, you see a post that you think is cool and you want to maybe replicate later, click on the little share button, copy a link, go over to your Notion page, paste it, embed. That's it. The whole point of this exercise is it needs to be really easy for you to stop scrolling, recognize it's a good post, grab the link, go and embed it into your swipe file. And it's as simple as that, because if it's not easy, you won't do it. How's this sounding so far? Is it making sense? Everyone's on the same page? This is what a swipe file could look like. Sam, love it. Yaz, sweet. Okay, that is the swipe file part. Now we get into the juicy part, because a swipe file in and of itself is useless if you don't do anything with it. So what do we do with it? We use our swipe file to find proven templates. Why does this matter? Because viral posts aren't random. At the start, I thought they were, but they follow predictable patterns. Our solution to gaming virality is to extract key phrases from high-performing posts, then search for them in Threads. If a phrase appears in 3 or more viral posts, I call that a winner. That tells me I should create a template out of it. Here's what this looks like. This is that step that is make or break to this whole process. Here's some examples. This was in my swipe file and posted all the way back in 2013 from Marketing Harry. He's hit 100K recently. He's done really well, obviously. So what I'm going to do here, when I saw this and added it to my swipe file, I saw this hook, most people fail on social because, and thought, I think that would be a hook used often and very successfully. So now I'm going to test that theory. I'm going to copy and paste most people fail on social. I'm going to go to Threads, go to search, put the quotation marks in search and hit enter. See what comes up. Our very own. There he is. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because I'll get distracted and get stuck down a scroll hole, but shout out Sam. This is the original post. And this is another, is it the same one? No, it's slightly different. So I'm just going to embed that there. We've got 2 examples of it working. And it doesn't matter if they're from the same person. If the person has used it twice and it's done well, I say that's a good indication that we're on the right track. Use it another time. So this is the part where it can get a bit tedious. But remember that once you create something like this once, it's done. You've got the template there. And that's where it's super useful. Okay, here's another one. And notice how it's not the exact same, but it's similar. Most people fail on social. Most brands don't fail on social. It's implying there's a problem here They don't fail on social because of the social media managers. They fail to listen to their social media managers. It's still got a similar problem. So not bad, but it's not giving me compelling proof that this is a viral hook. We might come back to that one. Here's another example in case this one actually turns out to be a bit better. I have a feeling it will. So now let's try this hook. Disappear for 6 months. Okay, here we go. So I'd consider this an example of this post being viral. By the way, side note, when you do this, you've been warned, you'll see just how many people plagiarize posts. It is shocking. So right now I'm seeing this one as an example. So that's 2 in total. Then I've got 3 here. I think that one's the same. And if I can find one more, I will, but no biggie. That's the original. Here we go. And that's 4. So I could keep looking, but based on that scroll, I got enough evidence to tell me, okay, this hook and this overarching structure, it works. It's been replicated over and over again with success. Is everyone cool with that point and how I arrived at that conclusion? It's basically just looking for posts. The key metric that I use to determine whether or not this post is like viral or not, just does it have more than 100 likes or not? That's not the perfect metric, but in my experience, it's the one that just works the best. So with that being said, now we move on to step 3, which is actually generating our viral template. And we're doing that with ChatGPT. The whole point here is do what works first, and then when you're Dan Koh, you can create what works. Most people try to be Dan Koh with their first post, and then they wonder why no one's getting seen or no one's seeing your shit. Trust me, do what works, then create what works. Imitate before you innovate. It's going to save you a lot of time and effort. Sam didn't get to 17,000 followers by trying to reinvent the wheel. He did what works, he followed the processes, and he grew.
Exactly.
I can't emphasize that enough. This will make your life a lot easier. So how do we actually do this? We screenshot 3 to 5 viral posts. So we just had 4 there. I'll screenshot them, then paste them into ChatGPT, and then use this illegal prompt. And by the way, you're going to get this page with the prompt itself. So you can take a screenshot of it if you want, but you will get this in Saints College a bit later on as well. So here is this is mine obviously, but I'm going to screenshot it, go over into ChatGPT or Threads GPT, the custom GPT I trained. I've spent hundreds of hours training this thing on viral posts in the hook book in Saints College. And I've trained it down to all of the formatting so that it gets the formatting right and different post sections right in a long form post, everything. This thing is my baby. You can use ChatGPT for this. Threads GPT will just be something that's more kind of tailored. It will give you a more tailored response without having to tweak it as many times. By the way, if you are interested in actually getting Threads GPT, we're going to be making it available as a one-time payment inside Saints College around $199. You can get it for free inside our paid community. It's one of the bonuses. All right, this is our 4th example. Now we copy and paste our prompt. And the only thing that you would want to change in this prompt is this part. These are specific outputs that I've asked it to generate for me, but unless these are the things that you want to talk about on Threads, go and change them to what those things are for you. Other than that, it's nice and simple. Copy and paste, hit enter. We'll see what happens. How are we finding this so far? Everyone following along, making sense? Cool. Okay. Ray, love it. Awesome. Okay. So here's our post template. And by the way, steal this template, screenshot it. I'll put it in the chat. Use this for yourself. There you go. Because I will be posting using this template live right now just to show you the process from start to finish, because I think it's useful to see those little things that you don't always see. Hopefully it's useful when you see the behind the scenes. But here's our template. Here are some post notes that I've trained Threads GPT to generate. So we give like an entire year's worth of these templates to people in Full Circle. They're already done for you, but when you use them, because we'll create them and then people inside Full Circle will go and use them. And that way they can just copy and paste the prompt, the template, and the post notes. These post notes allow the people using them inside Full Circle to give Threads GPT context for what the post is doing. It's like extra instructions in the prompt, but they're specific to the specific post. So you can ignore the post notes for the purposes of this class. Anyway, this is the template. And now here is the output that it gave me for examples. Disappear for 6 months and only use Threads. Then it's got a nice listicle. You'll never want to go back to Twitter. I can tell you right now that will do pretty well. Disappear for 90 days and focus on growing on Threads. Yeah, Sam, that's going to go viral. You'll watch me post a version of this in a second. Threads growth, disappear for 90 days, focus on growing on Threads. Post, you return with 10x the audience and influence. Disappear for 30 days and master Threads, Chat GPT for Threads. Never struggle with content ideas again. Disappear for a week and use Chat GPT for Threads. Ooh, it's a bit of a controversial hook. You'll turn Threads into your superpower, but I agree, especially with this process. Disappear for 6 months and improve your writing. Write daily, edit ruthlessly. Write the posts people can't ignore. You get the idea. What I do now is I'll copy and paste this output. Then we want to personalize them and tweak them to put our own unique touch on them. Like I've trained my Threads GPT to speak like me. So the amount of tweaking I'd want to do here would be minimal versus using just Chat GPT. However, I'm still going to make a few tweaks. And that's what I'm going to go over now, how we get the automation process to gain hundreds of followers in our sleep. Because as I said at the start, we're looking at automating viral Threads growth. Not just one, but like multiple. So now let's make them work for us. So let's look at the first one. This is probably the best. Why Threads is the best. Now I'm going to go over to BlackTwist. BlackTwist is the Threads dedicated scheduling and analytics software. Saints College and BlackTwist actually are official growth partners, which is very fun. We're currently working with BlackTwist to request features and ask for ways to make the product even better than it is. And what you can see here is the result of me using, Ray, because you just asked that question, I can't not just go and mention this now. Part of having an exclusive, like official growth partnership with BlackTwist is that we get special perks for people in Saints College. I've not actually mentioned this anywhere before. If you use this code, people in Saints College can get 1 month free of premium at checkout. After that, it would be paid, but you can cancel it on the 30th day or the 29th day if you want to, if you don't love it, but probably will. So if you do want to try BlackTwist for free and use the stuff that we're about to go through, grab that code. I'll put it in the chat. And this is for people only in Saints College. Back to the show. So let's say I want to schedule something. I'm going to go to write, and then, I don't want to put the discount code on Threads. That would not be good. Come back to my post. Cool. Okay, here we go. Disappear for 6 months and only use Threads. Then what I'm going to do, as we saw in those like examples of listicles, the formatting makes a big difference. What we can do to make our posts look pretty is just to make them, order them from shortest to longest. And again, this stuff isn't the sexy part of Threads growth, but it's what happens for me, at least, behind the scenes. So hopefully this is helpful for you to see. And notice the tweaks I'm making here. These are my 1% of personalization tweaks to make it sound more like something I would say. Okay, now we've got this hook. It's pretty good. Then if you want to like capture the attention of the people even more in a listicle, put the spiciest point in the listicle first. So for me, fuck the algorithm. It's probably going to capture and get people to perk up a bit and be like, oh, what? This is actually somewhat interesting. This isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill engage and post. How do you make this uniquely you is really what you want to say and get across in your posts. This is one of my favorite ones. Now, this is the feature that we actually just requested inside of Full Circle because, as I was saying, the formatting matters. the way it looks on threads is really going to have a big influence on how people engage with it or whether they engage with it at all. With that being said, I want to know how this will look like on threads. As of just recently, BlackTwist released this feature. This is how the post will look like in the feed. It looks pretty good. Disappear for 6 months and only use threads. Maybe if I could, I'd get this onto one line like that. Pretty good. You'll never want to go back to Twitter. Anyone have any thoughts? Should I post it? Thumbs up if it's a yes. Love hearts. Cool. Okay. Add Twitter/X. You think so? Twitter/X? Because I think it doesn't roll off, like the slash doesn't pack the punch as much. It's implying a bit of uncertainty in what you're saying. Technically speaking, it's more correct to do like Twitter/X, but it just doesn't slap you in the face as much. It needs to wake you up because people are mindlessly scrolling. Okay, so I'm going to schedule it, but only for a minute's time, because this is one of the other cool things that I love about BlackTwist. I've got my thing in 24-hour time, so that's why it's going to look a bit funny. I can set up a follow-up, like a plug. So after an hour, I can get people to come and sign up to Saints College, and it can be like the follow-up could be there after 69 minutes, this plug will be posted beneath the list, or it could be once the post gets a certain number of likes, or it could be number of reposts or comments, whatever. I'm not going to do that for this one, but it is a nice feature that I use a lot. But I'm going to do an auto repost. So what this is saying is that after an hour, this will repost my post for me as if I did it myself. That's it. So schedule a 1 minute and it's basically posted. That's one post. Now, because we're going through this step by step and I'm talking about it in detail every step of the way, it feels like it's taking a long time, but that would have taken 5 to 7 minutes, especially once you start doing it over and over. Now, let's just do one more together to show you what happens next and how you really get this on automate. Maybe in the chat, you can let me know which one you like best, threads growth, and just let me know based on the hook that you like the best. Disappear for 90 days and focus on growing on threads. Number 2. Number 3 is disappear for 30 days and master ChatGPT for threads. Number 4, disappear for a week and only use ChatGPT for threads. Number 5, disappear for 6 months and improve your writing. And then number 6, disappear for 6 months and focus on creating. So do you like number 2, 90 days? All right, I'm seeing 90 days a lot. Yep, all right, 90 days it is. All right, what have we got here? So disappear for 90 days. Yep, Sam, you need 90 days to register a habit. Cool. And again, just take note of these little tweaks I'm making here in real time. I changed it from share valuable insights to tell your story to then share your story. Because the difference between tell your story and share your story, it's minor, but share your story has more emotion behind it. It just has a bit more impact. And then here's another one. Engage with top creators, or it's the same thing. One is much more objective and logical. This one is much more emotional and almost memorable. You're not just engaging with top creators, you're stealing attention. Find what works and double down. Remember what I was saying at the start. Do what works, don't create what works. Imitate before you innovate. Okay. Now, this is what I would be doing in real time. I will literally go and read it out loud before I go and post it, or in this case, schedule it. Disappear for 90 days and focus on growing on threads. Post 3 times a day, share your story, repost your best posts. I don't know why, but repost your best posts. It was like a road bump or a hurdle in the way that I was reading it. That is a hurdle for someone else that's reading it, and you've lost them, they keep scrolling. Disappear for 90 days and focus on growing on threads. Post 3 times a day, share your story, repost your best hits. Write 3 long posts per week. Yep, write 3 threads a week. Thank you, Sam. This is why we got captains. Much better. Repost your best hits, write 3 threads a week, imitate before you innovate, steal eyeballs from top creators. You'll return with 10x the audience and influence. Give me a thumbs up if you think it actually still works and is better with just this. Return with 10x the audience and influence. And don't give me a thumbs up if you don't think so. Okay, Yaz and Sam, Leisha, Gagan's not happy with the last line. I'm glad that you're giving us your honest take. Please let us know suggestions if you have any. In the meantime, I'm going to look at the formatting. And if you look at that, immediately it's a pretty post, right? Don't judge a book by its cover, but let's be real, you do on Threads. Compare version 1 with version 2. I would be much more inclined to actually read this post on the feed versus this post. That is the power of formatting. You don't need to be a better writer. You just need to rearrange a few bullet points. That's it. And you automatically can get more reach. Like, honestly, if you want the easiest thing to do to get better reach on Threads after today's class, it's that. Everyone can and should do this. Okay. Coming back to it, I'm going to schedule it. It looks pretty. All I do here, schedule it. I'm going to go to a random date in the future. There's no real art to this, or at least I haven't come up with one yet, but maybe I will later. On a Sunday, I'm going to post it, have it scheduled at like middle of the morning, because unless I have overtime at work, I will not be up at this time. Yasmin knows. This will be a time when I'm not posting, so I can leverage the scheduling features. That's all good. Make it 43 for good luck and schedule. So what I would do if I was doing this without running the class is go and do this maybe 1 or 2 more times for the remaining options. It might involve me picking some of the best parts of some, adding them to some of the best parts of others to create a blend. As you saw, there are these little tweaks that I like to make. Those 1% of tweaks, that's me. And that's how I like to use AI. And I think that's how we should use AI. Get it to handle the templates, the structure, the proven virality, the proven reach, but then use that last part to make it you. Because that's what most people don't do. And that's why most people fail at using ChatGPT to effectively grow on Threads. All right, getting towards the end. And yeah, we've scheduled some posts. Then, and this is the point that I want you to have this vision in your mind. Imagine having months of viral content ready in hours. This is what I've been building up over the last 5 days. You can schedule posts any time of the week, but scheduling proven posts and having them stacked up in your calendar, that's where it gets pretty crazy, right? So you can see this is after 5 days. There's a lot of posts there, 44. Imagine what happens after 5 weeks of doing this. The person who keeps posting on Threads or any social media platform is the one who is the most successful, period. Assuming they learn as well. Because most people just quit. Like I was, as I said, July 10, 2023, Threads started maybe 3 days before that. I posted 3 times per day, at least every single day since then. I'm not the best at it, but I arguably am the most consistent because no one else I know has done that since then. I'm just keeping doing my thing, chipping away, knowing I'm not going to be getting the best results, but I will probably outlast people because they just quit. The reason why we're going through this is I want to give you a way to not quit and to also see results. After 2,622 hours, at this point in time, this is the best way I know how to do that. Step 5, stack and scale. Instead of posting and praying, systematize. Use this whole process we've gone through in today's class to create your own posts and have the peace of mind knowing the right ingredients are there. You just have to make them your own to show who you are to the people that follow you. That's how you separate yourself online. Most people don't do that extra 10%. That's why they blend in. That's why people don't follow them, because they're in the masses. So you repeat this process daily. You stack these scheduled viral posts in advance, and then you watch your audience grow while you sleep. And because these posts are proven, you've got the benefit of quantity and quality, which means more reach, which means more followers. So that is the 5-step process, what I call the 5-step formula to automate your viral threads growth. In summary, firstly, you want to analyze what's already viral. Then you want to extract proven post patterns. Remember, it was the disappear for 6 months. That was one of those patterns. Then you generate a high-performing template with AI. And just to remind you what that template looked like, it's in the chat. I can't actually get it, which is annoying. Let me get my chat GPT. Generate our proven post template like we've got there. Then use that prompt that is here. Remember, only thing you need to tweak is where I've inserted my own topics. From there, use something like Black Twist to schedule those posts in advance, in bulk. If you want to get a free month of Black Twist, use this discount code, Saints1M, 1 month, 1M. And then repeat, do that daily, because you're not just keeping your head above water to get your posts in for the day, you're planning them out in advance as well. It's very high leverage because you're not only generating 4 or 5 posts in the future, but you've also got a template that's timeless that you can use again in 3 to 6 months' time. And then again, like once you've got that template there, it's there forever. That's why I love this process so much. Do it once, use it forever. As I've got here, you do it daily, growth becomes inevitable. My final point is, ThreadGPT plus Black Twist is the cheat code. We offer both of those things. I mentioned this one already. Get ThreadGPT for free inside Full Circle. But the thing I haven't mentioned is that as part of Full Circle, you also get an entire Black Twist subscription premium for free. And the cool thing is we've actually got Mattia, who is the co-founder of Black Twist, as a admin of the community, and he is answering all the questions and helping us make the most of it. So that's pretty cool too. And that's why I think these 2 things alone have helped me gain those 600 followers over the last 5 days, 6x my growth. And tell you right now, what this 5 steps formula represents, I can see myself using it for a long time into the future. So that is the process. That is how you can automate your viral threads growth.